Welcome back. So Transport Minister Barbara Creecy says she's engaged SANTACO over its stance on hitchhikers receiving lifts. She says it is unconstitutional for patrollers to harass motorists for giving lifts to friends. But let's speak about this with the Gauteng Transport MEC spokesperson, Lesiba Mpya. Lesiba, a good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, this really coming out of engagements that the minister has had with SANTACO over reports that have been made, even videos shared on social media of hitchhikers and motorists harassed by patrollers as a result of really SANTACO and taxi operators wanting to, I suppose, have some ownership over the routes. But let's talk firstly about your view of some of the videos and how this discussion has really continued to grow.
Good evening, Naledi, and good evening to your viewers. Thank you for having us. Yes, indeed, I must say that we are speaking in the context of the government in Gauteng, whilst we are also noting that the executive authority in the country, the minister, would have led a discussion with the mother body, SANTACO, at national level, as well as to ensure that, an incident that would have happened that made viral does not continue to happen. In the context of Gauteng, I must say that the Department of Roads and Transport has established a very good relationship with the industry. And as a matter of fact, the industry together with government condemns, treatment of members of the public in this way. I think that to a larger extent also, I must say that the industry gets consent when sparing of individuals are going to be done by people who are not regulated by the same government, because a question of safety comes into effect. But we must say categorically that any intimidation to members of the public is highly condemned, and it's a matter that does not deserve its place in society.
Yeah, I think that it's important that we speak about what you're doing at a provincial level, because it certainly is one thing when you've got the minister in conversation with SANTACO at that level, but it is really as we get closer and closer to the ground that many people will feel that patrollers and those that are with taxi associations do as they please, despite what is discussed at national level. So what interventions, if at all, are taking place at provincial level?
So over and above, you know that we come from the October Transport Month, where we would have had a number of programs, including programs that are relating to the taxi industry, the regulations of their application of permits. But over and above that, we would have made a demonstration to the taxi industry when something similar of this nature would have happened. And we moved our, transport inspectorate unit, and they would have gone to those several taxi associations and impounded those patrol vehicles. That is the stealth, that is the, the teeth that the government of Gauteng has to demonstrate that we're not going to tolerate a situation where members of the public live in fear of people who are supposed to render a very, very important service, which is the taxi industry. And I must say that the industry has been professionalized in this particular space. And our determination of this particular nature is that you do get some isolated incidents. And as I said, that the SANTACO in Gauteng would have condemned any situation where members of the public are going to be intimidated. So we want to say to those that are going to continue this behavior, because the Constitution offers people rights, and in those Bill of Rights, there's the freedom that has been so hardly fought for, and people enjoy their particular different rights. So it is illegal for the patrollers to stop any motorists. They're not supposed to be doing that. Actually, designated authorities are the ones that can stop any member of the public for a particular reason or the other. So this is behavior that we cannot align with. It's a behavior that we definitely, as government, does not associate with.
Yeah, because, I mean, when you look at the work of patrollers, particularly and if we focus on Gauteng, for instance, coming out of communities like our townships, they operate quite often as a law, right? That they decide on who moves where and, you know, really they make some of those decisions. So there has to be a discussion, I imagine, with provincial government, with some of those authorities within the province about just how much power they actually have. So talk to me about instances where you have had to remove patrollers, the incidents that took place. At what point government and law enforcement then steps in?
Well, a matter would be reported to us. I would imagine there was an incident that would have happened with one of the bus operators, where taxi patrollers were literally stopping a bus from operating, and a call was made to ourselves, as I've said, with the dispatch of our inspectorate unit to actually make interventions. And we must say that when we are confronted with infringements, law enforcers do what they are expected to do. So when that would have happened, we would have impounded those particular taxis, patrol cars, and the perpetrators were arrested. And I speak on something that I was, I have a first-hand, information too. And there is a particular case opened. And as a state, we are interested parties. Immediately when that happened, and this also is also preceded by a number of concerns that would come from ordinary citizens, sending messages to the MEC. And some of them are women who are, frightened, for traveling in a pool car and so forth and so on. But I must say that these routes belong to South Africans. And where we are able to grant an approval for a route, it would have been a process of application. So a request would have to be made. And these routes, on behalf of South Africans or Gautengers, the state then makes an intervention of either approving or declining and holds the right to even revoke these particular permits. So there's no one who has ownership to the routes. These routes are roads that are facilities that belongs to the people of South Africa. And the state, which is governed, in this instance, the executive authority, MEC Kiliboni Dialetlabela, is custodian of such. And our responsibility of government is to ensure that the people who are utilizing these roads are safe. And that is why we have said that we go all out. We pull out all stops to ensure that our people are not exposed, or the people of Gauteng are not exposed to any act of intimidation, any volatility that would have been sparked by incidents within the industry itself. And we do say that we have been very happy with the industry and how they would have tried to move themselves out of behaviors that are unbecoming.
Lesiba, I want to squeeze one last one in. For the viewer who is sitting at home planning their week, has seen this incident go viral and is afraid that they may very well become a victim, who do they call?
So in Gauteng, you do have on the Gauteng website. If you go on our website of the Department of Road and Department of Roads and Transport in Gauteng, you do find our contacts there. There is a rapid response team in the office of the MEC, which will definitely take any information given to ourselves and act very efficiently on such information, because ours is to keep the usage of Gauteng roads very safe.
Okay.